NASCAR's backyard playing host. We are green at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
See Kyle Busch already making a big move to the inside, trying to get that track position we were just talking about.
Got a young guy in front of him in Cole Custer, and he jumped right to the inside, battling for the second position here with Tyler Reddick in the 9.
And he's being aggressive early. That was a couple aggressive moves there on the initial start and down the back straightaway to get that big side draft off the 9. He must be pumped up. I don't know if he was angry after cup practice, but he looks ready to go.
And he's making that low line work, Michael.
That's exactly what he's doing, and you're right, Eric. He was all over the side of the 9, getting the side draft and making it work. And when you talk, sideways there, look at Reddick. He's going to dive to the bottom and try to make that move along with Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's in the 23 car this week, and he's given a big push to Reddick, and it worked out.
19 of Brandon Jones in the mix. Couple of those Joe Gibbs drivers up there in the top 6 or 7. Custer's falling back in the outside lane. Here comes Chase Briscoe in his Ford.
You know, I'm interested to see what Brandon Jones is going to do today. He's got a good race car and a good crew chief.
Look at that move on the start. Kyle Busch, you said it, Eric. He was ready to go when they threw the green flag. Made it work.
The rules say you can't get out of line till the start-finish line. He waited till he was there, and then boom, he pounced, and right here got sideways coming off turn 2.
He was just doing all he could. He knew that clean air was important, and he knows the 22's fast, and I don't think he wanted to let the 22 do what he's doing right now, and that's driving away and getting a gap from the rest of the field.
Brad working his way through lap traffic, but Kyle Busch is there, and the advantage has been right around 3/10, 4/10 of a second the last couple of laps. But even going around the 66 of Timmy Hill, Kyle Busch able to get some ground into the inside and going to try and get that pass for the lead.
Was able to stay right to that quarter panel. That'll help him down the straightaway. I thought maybe he could get a side draft. He didn't work. Brad was able to pull ahead.
You know, this is a tough pass to make. You see where the traction compound's laid down. That really high lane isn't quite worked in. It doesn't have the heat in it yet, I don't think, to really go up there and try to make a move. So you're kind of in a box with trying to get air on the nose and where you need to go to stay in the traction compound. Kyle's going to have a tough time to get around the 22.
Saw Brandon Jones get around Chase Elliott, his teammate. Christopher Bell going to follow.
Yeah, Chase has fallen off the pace quite significantly, Adam. He ran up over 32 seconds. The rest of the guys are down in the mid-31. So I don't know if I would be interested to get your opinion on. Oh, got one sliding.
55 goes around. Problem's going to bring out the first caution of the day. Brandon Hightower.
If you flat spotted, don't come to pit road.
Well, I see that right rear is really low. He needs to probably pit and get those tires off there, because you know those things blow out or to tear the car up.
He's got some flat spots.
Definitely.
Hightower a lap down in 37th when it got away from him over in turn 4. You know, Chris Gabehart, crew chief for Brandon Jones, told me that the schedule's worked out great for us. 5 races to start the year, 2-week break to reevaluate, reassess, reset goals. Then we had 5 more weeks, couple of weeks off to do the same. This is the first of 4 in a row before we get another break. They are stair-stepping their way towards success. 1 lap to go in stage number 1. Kyle Busch leading, Brandon Jones is second, and these two going at it for third. 23 is Chase Elliott. The 20 is Christopher Bell. Brad Keselowski started on the pole. He led 25 laps. He's got a little damage. 22 is back in the 5th position, taking advantage of him, and I think we might have seen where that damage came from. A little tire rub maybe with the 18 of Kyle Busch. They got together. Green and white checkered flag in the air. Kyle Busch finishes it off. He is your stage 1 winner. Great start for Joe Gibbs Racing. Jones is second. Chase Elliott third, then the other Gibbs car. Christopher Bell is fourth. Brad was fifth. Rest of the top 10, bunch of drivers scoring points. Those Xfinity Series regulars: Allgaier, Custer, Hemrick, McMurray, and Reddick. Pit road will be open when we return, and it'll be Kyle Busch leading them down for service.
I'm going to be interested in when the stage ends, Adam, to keep our eye on Tyler Reddick. He's back in the 27th position. He did just like we expected. He just laid back. He's not running lap times at all. He will stay out, have those tires a little bit fresher. Be interesting to see how that pays off, because these guys are battling hard, and you see Reddick just cruising right now.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick and Brad Keselowski look like they're on about the same game plan here. They've definitely laid back. The 9 is definitely laying back. He's running some pretty far off lap times, but interesting to see how it's going to work out.
And, you know, speaking of laying back, I wonder if Elliott Sadler doesn't have a problem, because he went from 11th. He's now outside the top 25, maybe feeling a tire going down, and he's just hanging on for the end of the stage. What's up, Jamie?
Adam, that's exactly right. When that last caution came out, the one of Elliott Sadler said, oh my goodness, I almost spun out there. I might have a right rear going down. Well, they stayed out. It obviously isn't completely flat, but he's got something going on. He's been struggling with no AC, and what we've been told is that he can't reach the switch to actually turn the cooling system on, so it's just been blowing warm air. And like I mentioned, Adam, it is warm and muggy out here today. Tough for these drivers.
Sadler's had a tough day just trying to manage the end of stage number 2. And once again, the green and white checkered flag going to go in the air for the driver out of Las Vegas, Nevada. All-time wins leader in the Xfinity Series, Kyle Busch, padding the resume here. He wins our second stage. Custer, Brandon Jones, Jamie McMurray, Ty Dillon the top 5. Rest of the drivers scoring points. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Justin Allgaier, Matt Tifft, and Chase Briscoe. We're back to Charlotte. Final stage on the way on FS1. There you see Brad Keselowski working his way back toward the top 10. Actually, he's already picked up the 9th position, side by side with Ty Dillon, who did not pit when that last caution came out.
Ryan Truex with a big move in the bottom in that purple car.
I think guys are learning a lot right now. You know, these guys with fresh tires, they really haven't made a ton of headway, other than Daniel Hemrick's up to 5th, but it's taken him a while to get up there and really try to make a charge to the front. And Kyle's already started to run away here with the lead, so clean air is pretty important.
And in the second half of this race, Hemrick's been one of the best cars, so he's going to use those tires and make a run at Kyle Busch. Fastest car on the track last time around.
Spin turn 2. That's the 9 of Tyler Reddick.
Oh, he got it pretty good this time.
Looked like a tire blew out there too as he was sliding.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope on being that loose.
So is this good or bad for those drivers that got the tires? Fortunate that we can bunch it back up here?
I think it's good for the guys who got tires for sure, because they're in a good situation whether those guys in front of them pit or not. Daniel Hemrick up to 3rd that's a great spot to be in.
And I almost think that if you're Hemrick, you're pushing Kyle Busch and Custer into possibly having to pit because of the speed of the 21 car. See if we can look at this replay up here on the upper right of the screen. And that's just sideways like we've seen so often during the course of this race for many drivers. Maybe the most dramatic has been Reddick. The first 2 are going to be a handful.
There goes the 18. He's in the grass. He's sideways. And there goes Busch. Contact with a 98 of Chase Briscoe. And the caution is out once again. That is not what he wanted.
No, that was interesting for sure.
He got down on the inside of Dylan Lupton in the 28, and I think surprised Lupton, didn't give him any room.
Appeared to be a lot more damage for Kyle than Chase here.
And, you know, I've seen Kyle make that move 100 times, and it just didn't happen to work out this time. When I've looked at it as when you're going to make aggressive moves, sometimes they're not going to play out.
Well, I would say this, too. You mentioned Dylan Lupton. There were a lot of drivers up in front of Kyle that are not accustomed to being in that position at this stage of the race. That inexperience can hurt as well. We go green with 34 laps remaining.
Are we going to say 4 wide?
I think it was 4 wide. Ryan Truex down on the bottom. Hemrick making it work up top, and there's contact. That's the 28 of Dylan Lupton.
Okay.
Oh, and he's going to turn
Ty
Majeski.
We're in the wall. Ease it around.
There's the caution. Here's the 4 wide you talked about, Michael.
Yes, and you can see Lupton maybe trying to get up in line and just turned hard into the outside wall. That was Austin Cindric Cindric had the spot, and Lupton tried to take it.
Yeah, and that's at that point of the race where you can't let a guy have something like that. 33 laps to go. It's time to make your way to the front, and there's going to be a lot more take than there is give at this point.
You know who's been great on this restart? Ryan Truex. Restarted third, so he was in that inside lane, able to get in behind Brad Keselowski. If he could stay there, it would match his career best finish, and that would be an overachieving afternoon for Kaulig Racing when you consider where they have been today.
I love this view, Eric. This is what it feels like to be behind the wheel of one of these race cars, for sure.
And there's a caution, and two of the players at the front, Allgaier and McMurray, both were inside the top 10.
You're right, man. 10-4, I'm good. Hey, hooked you right rear.
You're going to have that coming off of a rain delay. These guys are excited to get back going. They're worried about the rain coming possibly again, and they just want to do everything they can to get up front and make as many passes as they can and cause us trouble.
That was a conversation between spotter Eddie DeHaan and Allgaier talking about what happened. It was spotter's opinion that he got hooked. Oh, that's just hard racing. Well, inside of 20 to go, wouldn't you say, Eric?
It is. I'd have to say the 7 probably came up a little bit on the 21, but it's tight in there. 3 wide through the dog leg here it's really narrow.
You and I said it a couple of times. 3 wide, it's hard to make that work. Everyone had been able to get through the first couple of times. This time, not so fortunate. Start-finish line for Brad Keselowski, 4 laps away from his second win in 2018. It would be his 4th here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
If you want somebody searching a new line and looking for a part of the track where you can run faster, Christopher Bell's the guy you want looking for you.
It is, a dirt racer, him, Kyle Larson, a few others are so good at looking and going where nobody else is and finding that speed. And he's getting some big runs right now off the corner. I just watched him go down the backstretch there, and he's got some speed.
Keep grabbing here. We're going to get a bunch of lappers. He's working with a new spotter here, too, so don't telegraph it.
Bell's been top 3 in every Xfinity race so far in 2018 when you talk about the 1.5 miles. And you heard him there giving Bell some advice, and he's starting to close in under a half a second. We'll see 2 laps to go this time at the line.
I think we're getting ready to see a pretty exciting finish coming up. Brad's a really smart race car driver and has been at it for a long time, so it's going to be interesting to see what his defense is.
And lap traffic, Michael.
Yeah, and he's talking about his new spotter that he's working with. What will that do to Brad Keselowski's decision making?
Bell goes high, and there's a caution.
Just above the bottom hash off of 4.
They were going to come around, see the white flag. Instead, we've got overtime.
We're going to re-rack.
There's the white flag. Next flag ends the race, whether it be the caution or the checkered. In this place, no stranger to last lap passes, but I'm not sure anybody is going to be able to get to Brad Keselowski.
Look at the big move by Bell off turn 2 to grab 3rd away from Dillon.
Crash down the back straightaway. No caution yet. There it is. Keselowski is leading.
Down the backstretch.
And Brad going to win for the 2nd time in 2018 here at Charlotte.
It was a great race. Exciting.
Right.
A lot of fun.
Got one sitting low, still on the track on the backstretch. He's moving. Should be all gone when you get there. Yep, 22 to victory lane. Good job, man.
Custer was making up some ground.
Way to go. Congrats, everyone. Thank you very much.
We had picked up the white flag, so we knew the next flag was going to end the race. And here's what happened coming off of turn 2 that final time around.
Looks like a replay from earlier where the 9 car just gets loose, and then you can see Ty Majeski, that car was already damaged, I'm sure a handful, and he had to try to change directions, and around it went.
These guys had to work hard all day long. Gets his 2nd win this year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and how fitting, Memorial Day weekend waving the American flag. Brad, you are not making these Xfinity races easy this year. You're having to work for every one of these that you get. You guys were in the back for a little while. You had good track position because of the pit strategy. It all worked out.
It did. Pit strategy was good, but the car was good. We just had to adjust on it. We had really good short run speed, but we couldn't get the long run speed in this Fitzgerald Ford. So I think with them short runs at the end paid off. We got track position, and Brian Wilson and the team just we kind of kept the faith.